Stop! Before you spend another rare coin, watch this first. One ordinary-looking Washington quarter or Lincoln penny hiding in your pocket, coin jar, or old collection could be worth a life-changing fortune. Some rare American coins have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and values can rise as collector demand changes. In this Top 10 countdown, you'll discover the hidden details, rare mint marks, and valuable errors that many people miss. Stay until the end, because coin number 1 could completely change the way you look at every coin you own. Coin number 1. Picture this for a moment. A customer pays for a cup of coffee. A cashier drops a few quarters into their hand, and one of those coins disappears into a pocket without anyone giving it a second glance. That ordinary-looking quarter could be the very treasure serious collectors spend years trying to find. Most people never imagine that a single state quarter from everyday change can attract enormous attention when the right combination of date, mint mark, condition, and collector demand comes together. Stay with me, because this discovery is far more interesting than it first appears. Today we're looking at the 2003 Alabama state quarter with the Denver D mint mark in fine condition, a coin that has become a fascinating target for collectors. Do not spend this coin until you've checked every detail, because hidden value often looks completely ordinary. The Alabama state quarter was released in 2003 as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program, a series that introduced millions of Americans to coin collecting. Alabama became the 22nd state honored in the program, celebrating its admission to the Union in 1819. The reverse design immediately stands out because it features the inspiring image of Helen Keller, making it one of the most recognizable and meaningful state quarter designs ever produced. Helen Keller is shown reading a book, accompanied by a longleaf pine branch, magnolia blossoms, and the inscription, "Spirit of Courage." Her name even appears in Braille, making this the first circulating U.S. coin to include Braille lettering. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington with inscriptions including "United States of America," "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and "Quarter Dollar." These design elements transformed an everyday coin into a miniature piece of American history that collectors continue to admire. What makes this particular Denver minted example so intriguing isn't just its beautiful design, but the combination of condition and collector interest. Although millions of Alabama quarters were produced, relatively few remain preserved with attractive original surfaces after years of circulation. Many examples became scratched, damaged, stained, or heavily worn from everyday use. Finding one with strong remaining details, natural color, and appealing eye appeal is becoming increasingly difficult as time passes. Collectors carefully inspect the D mint mark, the sharpness of Helen Keller's portrait, the Braille dots, the lettering, and the eagle details on the obverse. Even small differences in preservation can dramatically influence desirability. Most people overlook these details completely, which is exactly why valuable coins continue slipping through ordinary transactions every day. From a technical perspective, this quarter follows the standard specifications of modern U.S. quarters. It is struck in a copper core covered by outer layers of copper nickel-clad composition, giving it both durability and its familiar silver-colored appearance. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters. Around the edge, you'll notice the traditional reeded design made up of fine grooves, another important feature collectors examine for excessive wear or damage. Experienced numismatists also pay close attention to the original mint luster and any natural toning that develops over time. Beautiful golden, blue, or soft gray toning can enhance eye appeal, while harsh cleaning often leaves unnatural hairline scratches and removes the original surface collectors value most. That's why professionals repeatedly warn collectors never to polish or clean an old coin, no matter how dull it may appear. Now imagine the atmosphere inside a major coin auction. The room grows quiet as this impressive Alabama quarter is displayed under bright lights. Experts lean closer to inspect every detail through magnifying lenses. Bidders raise their paddles one after another as interest begins to build. The numbers continue climbing, surprising everyone watching. At first, it sells for more than many people's monthly paycheck. Then it climbs beyond the price of a luxury vacation. Moments later, it reaches a level few could have predicted. The final hammer falls at an astonishing $73,200 for an exceptional example that captured collectors' attention. That incredible result reminds us that rarity, preservation, market demand, and timing can combine to create extraordinary auction performances, even for coins that originally entered circulation as everyday pocket change. If you believe you may have found a 2003 Alabama state quarter with a Denver mint mark, resist the temptation to clean it or spend it. Instead, handle it carefully by the edges, store it in a protective holder, and consider having it examined by a reputable coin expert or submitted for professional grading if it appears unusually well preserved. Authentication and grading can play a significant role in establishing collector confidence and marketability. Keep in mind that not every Alabama quarter is worth thousands of dollars, but exceptional examples with outstanding preservation or other desirable characteristics can attract serious attention from collectors. Hidden treasures are often discovered because someone took a second look instead of assuming every quarter was the same. So before your next handful of change disappears into a vending machine or cash register, check every detail carefully. The next remarkable discovery could already be sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for someone who knows exactly what they're looking for. Do not spend this coin. Coin number 2. A man emptied an old glass coin jar onto his kitchen table, expecting nothing more than loose change for groceries. As the quarters rolled across the surface, one caught the light in a way that made him pause. It wasn't silver, it wasn't ancient, and it didn't look extraordinary at first glance. Yet that simple decision to take a closer look led him into a world where ordinary pocket change can become a collector's hidden treasure. Stories like this are exactly why experienced collectors inspect every quarter they receive. The next coin we're revealing is the 2009 Puerto Rico Isla del Encanto state quarter with the Philadelphia P mint mark in very fine condition. At first it may seem like another common quarter, but appearances can be deceiving. Do not spend this coin until you've examined every detail, because hidden fortunes are often disguised as everyday change. Released in 2009 as part of the District of Columbia and U.S. Territories Quarters Program, the Puerto Rico quarter celebrates the island often called Isla del Encanto, or Island of Enchantment. The reverse design captures Puerto Rico's rich history and cultural identity with remarkable detail. At its center stands the historic garita, one of the iconic sentry boxes from San Juan centuries-old fortifications overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Beside it blooms the Flor de Maga, Puerto Rico's national flower, while a native Puerto Rican parrot symbolizes one of the island's rarest wildlife treasures. The inscriptions proudly include Puerto Rico, Isla del Encanto, and E pluribus unum. Turn the coin over and the familiar portrait of George Washington appears on the obverse, surrounded by United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. Together, these artistic details transform an everyday circulating coin into a miniature tribute to Puerto Rico's heritage that continues to attract collectors across the country. Although millions of Puerto Rico quarters were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, Finding an attractive 2009 example with the P mint mark in very fine condition is becoming more challenging than many people realize. Most entered circulation immediately, where years of daily commerce left them scratched, nicked, stained, or heavily worn. Collectors search for coins that still display crisp architectural lines on the garita, strong detail in the flor de maga, clear feathers on the Puerto Rican parrot, and sharp lettering across the reverse. The Philadelphia Mint mark also receives close attention because authenticity and preservation are critical factors in collector demand. Original surfaces with pleasing natural toning are especially desirable, while cleaned or polished coins often lose much of their appeal. Experienced numismatists know that originality cannot be replaced, and a coin with untouched surfaces frequently commands greater respect in the marketplace than one that has been artificially brightened. Technically, this quarter shares the same standard specifications as other modern U.S. quarters. It is struck in a copper core clad with outer layers of copper and nickel, giving it durability while maintaining its familiar silver-colored appearance. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters. Around the edge are the traditional reeded grooves that help define the denomination and reveal signs of circulation. Collectors often examine the rim, edge, and fields under magnification, looking for strong details, attractive luster, and any unusual characteristics that might increase desirability. Even subtle natural toning can enhance visual appeal, while harsh cleaning usually leaves fine hairlines and permanently alters the original finish. That is why experts consistently recommend never cleaning a coin, no matter how dull it may appear, because preserving its original surfaces is one of the most important factors in maintaining collector value. Now imagine stepping into a prestigious coin auction where conversations fade as this Puerto Rico quarter is carefully placed beneath bright display lights. The auctioneer introduces the lot, and collectors immediately lean forward to study every detail. A paddle rises from the back of the room, then another answers from the front. The bidding begins climbing steadily. Soon the numbers move beyond what most people would ever expect for an ordinary-looking quarter. The tension builds as determined bidders refuse to back down. Finally, after one last dramatic pause, the auctioneer's hammer falls. The final sale reaches an astonishing $56,300, leaving many spectators amazed that a circulating quarter could command such a remarkable price under the right circumstances. While not every 2009 Puerto Rico quarter is worth anywhere near that amount, exceptional examples with outstanding preservation and strong collector demand can generate extraordinary interest. If you discover a 2009 Puerto Rico Isla del Encanto quarter with a Philadelphia P mint mark, don't rush to spend it or clean it. Hold it only by the edges, place it in a protective holder, and have it evaluated if it appears unusually well preserved or possesses distinctive characteristics. Professional grading can provide authentication and help establish its place in the collector market. The greatest mistake many people make is assuming every quarter carries only face value, when, in reality, careful examination can reveal surprising opportunities. The next time change lands in your hand, slow down and inspect every coin before it disappears into a cash register or vending machine. The treasure collectors have been searching for could already be waiting quietly in your pocket. Do not spend this coin. Coin number 3. The quarter almost disappeared forever. At a crowded weekend flea market, a small box labeled 25 cents each sat forgotten beneath a table. Hundreds of people walked past it without stopping, but one experienced collector noticed a single coin that looked just a little different. That moment turned an ordinary purchase into an unforgettable discovery and reminded everyone that some of America's most fascinating coins are still hiding where nobody expects them. The coin we're uncovering today is the 2017 Ellis Island quarter with the Denver D mint mark in very fine condition. Most people would spend it without a second thought, yet collectors know that certain well-preserved examples deserve a much closer look. Before you spend another quarter, take a careful look, because hidden treasures often blend perfectly into everyday pocket change. Issued in 2017 as part of the America, the Beautiful Quarters program, the Ellis Island quarter honors one of the most significant landmarks in American history. For millions of immigrants arriving in the United States, Ellis Island represented hope, opportunity, and the beginning of a new life. The reverse design captures that powerful story by showing a family of immigrants approaching Ellis Island while the Statue of Liberty stands proudly in the background, symbolizing freedom and new beginnings. Every detail was carefully designed to celebrate the courage and determination of those who helped shape the nation. The inscriptions include Ellis Island, New Jersey, 2017, and E Pluribus Unum. On the obverse appears the familiar portrait of George Washington along with United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and Quarter Dollar. Together, these artistic elements transform an everyday circulating coin into a miniature historical tribute that continues to capture the attention of collectors across the world. Although millions of Ellis Island quarters were struck at the Denver Mint, time has reduced the number of attractive examples that remain in collectible condition. Most entered circulation immediately and spent years moving from cash registers to vending machines, banks, and pockets, collecting scratches, rim damage, and surface wear along the way. Collectors searching for this coin pay special attention to the tiny D mint mark, the sharp details of the immigrant family, the folds in their clothing, the Statue of Liberty's torch, and the crisp lettering around the design. Coins that retain strong original detail, natural surfaces, and appealing eye appeal become increasingly desirable. Natural toning in soft golden, blue, or gray shades may enhance a coin's attractiveness, while harsh cleaning often destroys the original finish collectors value most. That is why experienced numismatists repeatedly warn that cleaning a coin usually reduces its collector appeal instead of improving it. From a technical standpoint, the 2017 Ellis Island quarter follows the standard specifications used for modern U.S. quarters. It is struck on a copper core clad with outer layers of copper and nickel, giving it strength while maintaining its familiar silver-colored appearance. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters. Its edge features the traditional reeded grooves found on circulating quarters, and collectors often inspect those reeds carefully for signs of excessive wear or damage. Under magnification, experts evaluate the strike quality, surface preservation, and originality before determining a coin's desirability. Professional grading has become increasingly important because even small differences in condition can significantly influence collector demand and long-term market value. As fewer well-preserved examples remain available, competition among serious collectors continues to grow. Now imagine the atmosphere inside a prestigious coin auction. The room becomes almost silent as the Ellis Island quarter is placed beneath brilliant lights. Experienced bidders lean forward, carefully studying every tiny detail before the auctioneer begins. One paddle rises, then another answers immediately. The price climbs steadily beyond what anyone expects from an ordinary-looking quarter. Excitement fills the room as determined collectors refuse to back away, each hoping to secure this remarkable piece for their collection. The numbers continue rising until the auctioneer pauses, looks across the room one final time, and brings the hammer down. The final selling price reaches an astonishing $42,300, proving once again that exceptional preservation, strong collector demand, and historical significance can transform an everyday coin into a remarkable collectible. While not every 2017 Ellis Island quarter is worth such an amount, outstanding examples have attracted impressive attention within the numismatic community. If you happen to find a 2017 Ellis Island quarter with a Denver D mint mark, don't assume it's worth only 25 cents. Examine it carefully under good lighting. Avoid touching the surfaces with your fingers, and never attempt to polish or clean it, because original surfaces are one of the first things collectors inspect. Place it in a protective holder and consider professional authentication if it appears unusually well preserved. The greatest discoveries are often made by people who simply decided to look a little closer than everyone else. Before your next handful of change disappears into a vending machine or cash register, inspect every quarter carefully. The hidden treasure collectors have been searching for could already be resting quietly in your pocket. Do not spend this coin. Coin number 4. A bank employee opened a fresh roll of quarters expecting nothing more than ordinary change for the day's customers. One coin slid onto the counter, and an experienced collector waiting in line immediately asked if he could take a closer look. Everyone else saw 25 cents. He saw the possibility of a hidden treasure that could quietly disappear back into circulation if nobody recognized it. That is exactly why knowledgeable collectors search bank rolls every week. The coin we're exploring today is the 2020 National Park quarter with the Denver D mint mark in fine condition. It looks like an everyday quarter, yet certain examples have attracted remarkable attention because of their preservation, collector demand, and growing interest. Do not spend this coin before checking every detail, because valuable discoveries are often lost one purchase at a time. Released in 2020 as part of the America, the Beautiful Quarters program, this national park quarter celebrates one of America's treasured natural landscapes and continues the series honoring important national parks and historic sites. The reverse design captures the beauty and significance of the featured park through finely engraved scenery and carefully crafted inscriptions, while the obverse displays the familiar portrait of George Washington with the words "United States of America, Liberty, in God We Trust," and "Quarter Dollar." Every line and engraving tells a story of America's natural heritage, making these quarters more than simple pocket change. Because the America the Beautiful series has become increasingly popular with collectors, many enthusiasts carefully search circulation hoping to find attractive examples before they become more difficult to locate. From a technical standpoint, this quarter follows the standard specifications of modern United States quarters. It is struck on a copper core with outer layers of copper and nickel clad, giving it excellent durability while maintaining its recognizable silver-colored appearance. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters. Around the edge are the traditional reeded grooves that collectors inspect for signs of wear or damage. The small D mint mark, indicating production at the Denver Mint, is another important feature that collectors examine carefully. They also look for strong strike quality, clear design details, original mint surfaces, and attractive natural toning. Soft gold, blue, or gray toning that develops naturally over time can enhance eye appeal, while polishing or cleaning permanently damages the original finish. That is why experienced numismatists consistently warn collectors never to clean a coin if they hope to preserve its long-term collector value. The real excitement begins when collector demand meets limited availability of well-preserved examples. Although millions of 2020 National Park quarters entered circulation, very few remain untouched after years of daily use. Countless coins have been scratched in cash drawers, worn down in vending machines, dropped onto sidewalks, or stored carelessly in jars and boxes. Every damaged coin reduces the supply of attractive survivors available to future collectors. As interest in modern U.S. coinage continues to grow, more collectors are searching for coins with sharp details, original surfaces, and appealing eye appeal. Most people unknowingly spend these quarters every day, never realizing they may be giving away something that could become increasingly desirable in the collector market. Sometimes the greatest treasure isn't hidden in an old chest, it is hiding in plain sight inside the loose change you already own. Now picture the atmosphere inside a respected coin auction. The room falls completely silent as this beautifully preserved 2020 National Park quarter appears beneath bright display lights. Experienced bidders study every tiny detail through magnifying lenses before the auctioneer begins calling the bids. One paddle rises, then another, and suddenly the competition intensifies. The price quickly climbs beyond what most people would ever imagine paying for a modern quarter. Tension fills the room as determined collectors continue raising their bids, refusing to let the coins slip away. Finally, after one last dramatic pause, the auctioneer brings the hammer down. The final sale reaches an astonishing $36,300, leaving spectators amazed that a coin once worth only 25 cents could command such an extraordinary price. While not every 2020 National Park quarter is worth that amount, exceptional examples with outstanding preservation and desirable characteristics continue to attract serious collector interest. If you discover a 2020 National Park quarter with the Denver D Mint mark, resist the urge to spend it immediately. Examine it carefully under bright light, hold it only by the edges, and never attempt to polish or clean it, because original surfaces are one of the first qualities collectors evaluate. Store the coin in a protective holder and consider professional grading if it appears especially well preserved. Authentication can increase buyer confidence and help establish its place in the collector market. The biggest mistake people make is assuming every quarter is worth only its face value. Sometimes the most valuable discoveries are the coins everyone else ignores. Before your next handful of change disappears into a cash register, take a closer look. The hidden treasure collectors are searching for could already be waiting quietly in your pocket. Do not spend this coin. Final coin. The most surprising discoveries often happen when nobody is looking. Imagine someone tossing a handful of quarters into a parking meter, completely unaware that one of those coins could become the piece collectors have spent years searching for. It vanishes into circulation forever, and the owner never realizes what was lost. That is why seasoned collectors never ignore modern quarters, no matter how common they appear. The final coin in today's countdown is the 2012 Hawaii Volcanoes National Park quarter with the Denver D Mint mark in fine condition. At first glance, it looks like another ordinary 25-cent coin, but beneath its familiar appearance is a remarkable story that has earned the attention of collectors across the country. Before you spend another quarter, examine it carefully, because hidden treasures are often hiding in plain sight, and this coin proves that extraordinary value can sometimes be found in everyday change. Released in 2012 as part of the America, the Beautiful Quarters program, this coin honors Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, one of America's most extraordinary natural landmarks. The reverse design features the dramatic image of an erupting Kilauea volcano, with flowing lava representing one of the world's most active volcanic landscapes. The inscriptions include Hawaii, Hawaii Volcanoes, 2012, and E Pluribus Unum, beautifully capturing the power and beauty of the islands. On the obverse is the timeless portrait of George Washington accompanied by United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and $quarter. Every design element tells a story of nature's incredible force and America's commitment to preserving its national treasures. This unique artwork has made the coin one of the most recognizable releases in the America the Beautiful series and a favorite among many modern coin collectors. Technically, the coin follows the familiar specifications used for modern United States quarters. It is struck on a copper core clad with outer layers of copper and nickel, providing both durability and its distinctive silver-colored appearance. The coin weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters. Around the edge are the traditional reeded grooves that experts inspect carefully for wear or damage. The small D mint mark, indicating production at the Denver Mint, is another important feature collectors verify during authentication. Experienced numismatists closely examine the sharpness of the volcanic details, the clarity of the inscriptions, the original mint surfaces, and any attractive natural toning that may have developed over time. Coins displaying untouched surfaces and pleasing eye appeal are usually far more desirable than those that have been cleaned or polished. Cleaning may seem harmless, but it permanently alters the original finish and can significantly reduce collector interest and market value. Although millions of these quarters entered circulation, relatively few remain in attractive collectible condition after years of daily use. Countless examples have been scratched in cash registers, worn smooth in vending machines, dropped onto sidewalks, or forgotten inside jars filled with loose change. Every damaged coin reduces the number of quality survivors available to future collectors. This shrinking supply, combined with growing demand for modern commemorative quarters, has increased interest in exceptional examples. Serious collectors search through bank rolls, estate collections, and dealer inventories hoping to find coins with strong details, original surfaces, and excellent eye appeal. Most people unknowingly spend these coins every day without realizing that preservation, condition, and collector demand can dramatically separate an ordinary quarter from one that receives extraordinary attention in the marketplace. Now picture the atmosphere inside a prestigious auction hall. The room becomes completely silent as this beautifully preserved Hawaii volcano's quarter is placed beneath brilliant display lights. Every bidder studies the coin carefully through magnification, noticing details that most people would never think to inspect. The auctioneer opens the bidding, and almost immediately paddles begin rising throughout the room. The price climbs steadily, then accelerates as determined collectors compete for ownership. Excitement fills the air while the numbers move beyond the cost of an expensive vacation and continue even higher. After one final pause, the auctioneer raises the hammer and announces the winning bid, an astonishing $50,200. The audience is left amazed that a coin originally worth just 25 cents could attract such remarkable attention. While not every 2012 Hawaii volcano's quarter reaches that level, outstanding examples with exceptional preservation and strong collector appeal have generated significant interest within the numismatic market. If you ever come across a 2012 Hawaii Volcanoes National Park quarter with a Denver D mint mark, never assume it belongs only in a vending machine or cash register. Hold it carefully by the edges. Avoid cleaning it under any circumstances, and store it in a protective holder if it appears unusually well preserved. Professional grading and authentication can help determine its condition and increase buyer confidence if you decide to sell it in the future. Before rushing to spend your next handful of change, remember that history has shown extraordinary discoveries often begin with an ordinary-looking coin. The greatest hidden treasure may not be buried underground. It could already be resting quietly in your pocket, wallet, or coin jar, waiting for someone who recognizes its true potential. If this video made you look at your spare change differently, let us know in the comments which quarter surprised you the most. and whether you've ever found an unusual coin in circulation. Subscribe for more hidden coin discoveries, because the next life-changing treasure could be the one you almost spent. Do not spend this coin.